Two.
Yeah. It's
Neil, thank you so much for taking the time. It is morning in California, afternoon, I believe, in your neck of the forest. So why don't we start by you telling us a little bit about yourself, your institutional context, your background, disciplinary and otherwise, and how are things going on in the Netherlands?
okay, great. I will. Well, thanks for having me, for starters. Well, my name is Niel Willemsen. I'm a lawyer. I also was a barrister, which is, I think, the correct word in the United States context, I guess. So I practice law as well. And, well, after a couple of years, I realized that I wanted to do something different, and I combined my practical job with the work in the educational field. And even later on, it turned out to be, well, exactly what I wanted to do. So it became a full-time job. So I'm a lecturer. I did some research for my university. I'm also the privacy guy, because I'm the lawyer, so you also know something on privacy. So I'm the privacy professional.
It's good to have a lawyer around, absolutely.
So yeah, basically that sums it all up. I have to emphasize that I truly love working with students. So at my institution, we work with students that are approximately between 16 and 24 years, well, young or old, depends on perspective. And I teach in the business administration. I also worked for an insurance company really briefly. It was not my kind of thing. And I also did, but that's ages ago. I also did the professional education. So people who already had a job, and in the evenings they come to our institution to learn more. I think it's good to emphasize as well that Avans University, so my university, has approximately 30,000 students. 3,000 members, more or less. Exactly. So that means that we, by law, are allowed to hand out bachelor degrees. So in the European context, that's level 6, and then level 7 is master, and level 8 is PhD. So we hand out bachelor degrees after 4 years, more or less, 4 years of education. We also have some master degrees, but that's a bit technical. But my area is business administration and HR.
So where are you more comfortable, Niels? Are you more comfortable in front of the students or in front of the judge?
That's a good one. Well, they have something in common, and that's a bit odd to admit and to say, but
yeah,
both places have some kind of theater aspect going along with them. You have to play a role.
Absolutely.
Using yourself, of course, but as a lawyer, you're wearing the gown, so you're not completely yourself. You're speaking on behalf of a role, of a function. But as a teacher, you have to entertain as well. You have to be really good at talking and keeping attention close. That's very similar as in court. But
that is right.
The distinction is that the context with students is likely to be a lot more positive. You are working towards, well, helping people to take the next step, for example. And it's a bit more positive. In court, you're solving someone else's problems, basically. So it's different.
Yeah. That's right. How interesting. So let's move on this issue of what happened. You're teaching in the classroom normally, and then COVID-19 happens, right? So could you give us, was this 9 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago? I'm not sure when did it happen.
9 weeks ago, more or less, in the Netherlands.
Yeah. Did you stop teaching, or you?
Just a week before all the rules of confinement were rolled out throughout society. I was in Denmark, so I wasn't teaching just before the crisis. I was in Denmark at another university, and I was teaching there real life, real time classes. And the weeks before, Netherlands as well, just doing business, with business as usual. We have some trainings. So training in our context is that you teach students skills and you help them to be more professional, and it's a more soft approach. And I also do more hard courses like law and stuff like that. So we had a lot of face-to-face contact, and that suddenly just it was gone, and we needed to adapt, which was, for me, it was fun in a way. And later on, all the problems popped up. Of course, the technical issues and the people missing out on meetings, or couldn't connect online or whatever. All these issues. We had some issues. Yeah. Teams, Microsoft Teams is the mandatory platform for staff and students to use. But staff did a really good job. I have to say that they really do a good job. So it's very stable. Even with classes of 100 students, 150 students, it works really well. So, yeah.
Do you teach those large classes?
Yeah, I do. Although those large groups, I haven't done so far. Big groups, about 30, 40 students, and the smallest 5, 6, more or less.
Yeah. Those are wonderful courses when you have a small group of students and you're working with them. That's really enjoyable. And the large crowds are interesting too, but it's a different challenge altogether, right? So, in terms of, I don't know if you have a sense of how are your students coping with the change? Are they happy? Are they nervous about not being able to attain the objectives of the semester? Were you able to finish your semester? Are you in a quarter system or semester system?
We have a quarter system. The business administration curriculum and the HR are using the semester option. I think my students are really stressed out, especially graduate students. They were really stressed out on am I going to finish it, and will I be obtaining the grade that I would have obtained if things would have been normal? Can I move on to the university, so the academic university, with this in this situation? How will the exams be? Will they be online? Will I be proctored? Stuff like that. So they're stressed out. On the other hand, it depends on the mindsets as well, at least from my perspective. So the students that I know a bit better, because I'm also coach of a small group of 15 students throughout the 4-year program, and those whom I know a bit better with the good mindset, they're just really flexible and positive towards it, and they also help teachers out. They're flexible. They say, "Oh, okay, you have 3 kids at home. Let's do the lecture. I don't know, at 4 o'clock or in the evening or really early in the morning." So it depends. The big differentiator is communication. It all on how we communicate with these boys and girls. So if we use really clear words and sentences, and then they are really flexible. But if we communicate in a way that is vague and open-ended, so words like, well, we are going to solve this for you. All right.
What does that mean? Yeah.
For a student, that's not enough. That's not enough. They want to have a specific date, a specific means, or whatever. So that's...
And how about you in terms of your own practice? So you are asked one day to stop going to the physical classroom, and then I imagine that you have to resort to all kinds of... Were you already transitioning into using digital tools for your teaching? Did you have to adapt? How was your personal experience with it?
Well, I was a bit lucky because with some colleagues I already work along with a Finnish university, and we were preparing a lot of online materials. So we were using all kinds of software to make screencasts, podcasts, and so forth and so on. So we had an advantage there, technically.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you still have to align yourself with the group of students. You have to, I don't know, you have to empathize with them as well, and that's really hard through a camera, and with groups larger than, I don't know, 10 students, more or less. I think 10 is the max. What that's
just little squares, right? Yeah.
To be honest, some of them are in their beds, others are at their home trainers. Some of them are really concentrated and trying to take notes. It in the beginning it was a mess, to be honest. Later on, everybody adapted and got more serious and less, what's the word, ashamed or shy or
shy. Yeah, that's right. So we get used to these devices and we just perform to it. Yeah, that was a major issue with some of my colleagues. The performance on a different medium, because we're, as you well said, we're performing when we're teaching, but it is different. And we want it to be perfect. We want to control. I say, no, just keep recording. No one's paying attention. Just do it. But it takes some getting used to it. Yeah. But let me go back to what you were saying. I'm sorry, I don't want to. But because it's really interesting. So this human connection that we definitely have in the immediacy of the physical space, when it is mediated, it becomes a different animal, and sometimes it becomes nothing. So how are you coping with that? How are your feelings about this type of education?
I'm in doubt. I have to admit. On the one hand, I'm really in favor of using technology, distance learning, using all kinds of software, all kinds of tools, because it's fun. And on the other hand, I'm really, really skeptical, because I do know that but it's intuitively, right? I do know that with the students that I connect most with, that has to be real life. I have to look them in the eye and know, and then I can actually see whether they understood what I said, or that they, students have this, when they don't understand what you're saying, they have this, I don't know, this look, or this, and you in a classroom you can see that
you're reading them.
You can see whether they're shifting in their chair, or all these micro things, and online it's impossible. So I can use all these stupid questions like, "Did you understand what I said before?" And they say, "Yeah."
What are they going to say? Of course, yes.
Obviously, some of them aren't shy, and they just overrule me and say, "Well, Niels, I didn't get it." So I think we learn from this episode. I don't know the English word, but in Spanish it's no pasarse, no?
Let's not do too much of this. Let's not overkill. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Don't overdo it. Sorry, that's the word. Don't overdo it. Prior to this conversation, I had Spanish lessons. So I just.
We should have done this in Spanish, Neil. Yeah. I would have been more comfortable.
A bit hard. But we have to have this mix that flipping the classroom, like students can consume knowledge-based lectures online, but then I prefer to really see them in class. And I think students do so as well.
I think I really like the fact that you have this real life practice in your professional life, and then you come to the classroom. Oftentimes when we are embedded only in the classroom, we will lose a little bit of the sense of reality out there. So borrowing from that positionality that you have, and I guess the question is, many of us are thinking of the fragility of the systems we depend on. Mm-hmm. It's incredibly robust on the one hand, and amazing technology, and the places we live and the travel that we do, all of that is incredible. But it is such a fragile system as we're experiencing right now. Yeah. So out of this, being confronted with the fragility of our systems, what are your thoughts about what the university needs to go back to? I don't think we should go back to exactly where we were before, but we cannot get just throw away everything we were before. So what is your perspective? What would you like to see changing and staying of your experience as a professor at a university?
I truly hope that the incentive for enhancing the well, what's the word? The level of sustainability, healthcare, all these topics that are, at least in the business administration curriculum, not that present. I hope they will be more interlinked and more consciously lectured to students. So the vulnerability you mentioned, I relate that to that as a business administration student, you need to be aware. You need to be aware of the world around you. It's great that you have the skills to manage a company and take a look at financial aspects of a company and the HR. Mm-hmm. There's so much more to it. It's not only about profit. It's about, well, is this company you're going to work for, or the startup you're going to embrace? Are you capable of making it sustainable? So take care of the humans that are working there. Do you have empathy skills and stuff like that? So I hope, from a content-wise perspective, that my university will, more or less force these topics in the curricula on the one hand, and I also hope that we embrace technology on the one hand, but be really cautious as well with technology. I'm afraid that budget-wise, as we call them in the Netherlands, people in suits, the people in the suits will say, well, see, the educational field is really good at adapting really, really rapidly, and now let's do everything online. And let's do a lot of budget costs on physical classes, for example, because they are the expensive. If you take a look at the financial part of education. So, and there are some budget costs coming over from the Ministry of Education. That's not a secret. So some colleagues already are pretty afraid that they'll say, well, let's skip 50%, for instance, of all the physical classes, just record everything, put it online, and that's it. Yeah. So that's a more cynical approach, to be honest.
Yeah, that is right. So on the one hand, I agree with you. We can gain in efficiencies, but it shouldn't be at the expense of what is the core of our practice and our mission, which is to endow the new generation with the tools that they're going to need to face the challenges that we're going to be facing apparently more and more in the future, because it is like it's coming quite a bit more frequently, probably.
To elaborate a bit more on the perspective, is in the educational field, everybody is really proud of themselves now because we did this so fast and everything is so good. But from the student perspective, it's completely different, in a sense that from a student perspective, it's just, well, these guys just did some video calls and made a screencast. Yeah, who cares? They were raised with online material. They were raised with video. They were raised with guys on YouTube explaining things. So the things we did are good, but they don't have the same level as a YouTube star explaining things. So
that's fine. Okay. Well, I'm trying to keep the conversations not too long, so that when we get people to watch this, they don't they don't reject the number of minutes. But I can't believe that we could continue talking for a good while about our experiences. I have to confess that I'm totally